Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to our Bible in a Year reading plan. I am Shanique, and thank you so much for tuning in today. So, today we are going to be looking at Numbers, and we're looking at Numbers chapters 11 to 13. Now, if you're a new listener here, I encourage you just to hit that notification bell and subscribe so that way you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. And if you'd like to tag along and join us in our Bible in a Year reading plan, we have the reading plan that we're currently using in the description box below. So just head to the description box, and from there we'll direct you to our website where you can download that printable plan for free. All right, let's get started with today's reading, Numbers chapter 11 to 13, and it will be read from the New American Standard Bible.
Numbers 11. The people complain. Now the people became like those who complain of adversity in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord heard them, and his anger was kindled. And the fire of the Lord burned among them, and consumed some at the outskirts of the camp. The people then cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire died out. So that place was named Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burned among them. Now the rabble who were among them had greedy cravings. And the sons of Israel also wept again and said, "Who will give us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we used to eat for free in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic, but now our appetite is gone. There is nothing at all to look at except this manna." Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance like that of bdellium. The people would roam about and gather it and grind it between two millstones, or pound it in the mortar, and boil it in the pot and make loaves with it, and its taste was like the taste of cake baked with oil. When the dew came down on the camp at night, the manna would come down with it. The complaint of Moses. Now Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, each one at the entrance of his tent, and the anger of the Lord became very hot, and Moses was displeased. So Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you been so hard on your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight that you have put the burden of all this people on me? Was it I who conceived all this people? Or did I give birth to them, that you should say to me, 'Carry them in your arms, as a nurse carries a nursing infant, to the land which you swore to their fathers'? Where am I to get meat to give to all this people? For they weep before me, saying, 'Give us meat so that we may eat.' I am not able to carry all this people by myself, because it is too burdensome for me. So if you are going to deal with me this way, please kill me now, if I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see my misery." 70 elders to assist Moses. The Lord therefore said to Moses, "Gather for me 70 men from the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and their officers, and bring them to the tent of meeting, and have them take their stand there with you. Then I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take away some of the Spirit who is upon you, and put him upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you will not bear it by yourself. And you shall say to the people, 'Consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, for you have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, Oh, that someone would give us meat to eat. For we were well off in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat, not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nose and makes you nauseated, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you and have wept before him, saying, Why did we ever leave Egypt?' But Moses said, The people, among whom I am included, are 600,000 on foot. Yet you have said, I will give them meat, so that they may eat for a whole month. Are flocks and herds to be slaughtered for them, so that it will be sufficient for them? Or are all the fish of the sea to be caught for them, so that it will be sufficient for them?" Then the Lord said to Moses, "Is the Lord's power too little? Now you shall see whether my word will come true for you or not." So Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord. He also gathered 70 men of the elders of the people and positioned them around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and he took away some of the Spirit who was upon him and placed him upon the 70 elders. And when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied. Yet they did not do it again. But 2 men had remained in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them, and they were among those who had been registered, but had not gone out to the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. So a young man ran and informed Moses and said, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Then Joshua the son of Nun, the personal servant of Moses from his youth, responded and said, My lord Moses, restrain them. But Moses said to him, Are you jealous for my sake? If only all the Lord's people were prophets, that the Lord would put his spirit upon them. Then Moses returned to the camp, both he and the elders of Israel, the quail and the plague. Now wind burst forth from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea, and dropped them beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and a day's journey on the other side all around the camp, and about 2 cubits deep on the surface of the ground. And the people spent all that day, all night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quail. The one who gathered least gathered 10 homers, and spread them out for themselves all around the camp. While the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the anger of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord struck the people with a very severe plague. So that place was named Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had been greedy. From Kibroth Hattaavah the people set out for Hazeroth, and they remained at Hazeroth. Numbers 12. The murmuring of Miriam and Aaron. Then Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman, and they said, Is it a fact that the Lord has spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us as well? And the Lord heard this. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than any person who was on the face of the earth. And the Lord suddenly said to Moses and to Aaron and Miriam, You 3 go out to the tent of meeting. So the 3 of them went out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tent, and he called Aaron and Miriam. When they had both come forward, he said, Now hear my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision. I will speak with him in a dream. It is not this way for my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my household. With him I speak mouth to mouth, that is, openly, and not using mysterious language. And he beholds the form of the Lord. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant, against Moses? And the anger of the Lord burned against them, and he departed. But when the cloud had withdrawn from above the tent, behold, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. As Aaron turned toward Miriam, behold, she was leprous. Then Aaron said to Moses, Oh, my Lord, I beg you, do not hold us responsible for the sin by which we have turned out to be foolish and by which we have sinned. Oh, do not let her be like a dead person, whose flesh is half eaten away when he comes out of his mother's womb. So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, God, heal her, please. But the Lord said to Moses, If her father had only spit in her face, would she not be put to shame for 7 days? Have her shut outside the camp for 7 days, and afterward she may be received again. So Miriam was shut outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on until Miriam was received again. Afterward, however, the people moved on from Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. Numbers 13. Spies view the land. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Send out men for yourself to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am going to give the sons of Israel. You shall send a man from each of their fathers' tribes, every one a leader among them. So Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran at the command of the Lord, all of them men who were heads of the sons of Israel. These then were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua the son of Zachar; from the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat the son of Hori; from the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh; from the tribe of Issachar, Igal the son of Joseph; from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshi the son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti the son of Raphu; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel the son of Sodi; from the tribe of Joseph, from the tribe of Manasseh, Guddi the son of Suzi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel the son of Gemalli; from the tribe of Asher, Sethur the son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi the son of Vophsi; and from the tribe of Gad, Gul the son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. But Moses called Hoshi the son of Nun Joshua. When Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, he said to them, Go up there into the Negev, then go up into the hill country. See what the land is like, and whether the people who live in it are strong or weak, whether they are few or many. And how is the land in which they live? Is it good or bad? And how are the cities in which they live? Are the people in open camps or in fortifications? And how is the land? Is it productive or unproductive? Are there trees in it or not? And show yourselves courageous and get some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob at Lebohamath. When they had gone up into the Negev, they came to Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were. Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. Then they came to the valley of Eshcol, and from there they cut off a branch with a single cluster of grapes, and they carried it on a pole between 2 men, with some of the pomegranates and the figs. That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster which the sons of Israel cut off from there. The spies reports. When they returned from spying out the land, at the end of 40 days, they went on and came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the sons of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh, and they brought back word to them and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. So they reported to him and said, "We came into the land where you sent us, and it certainly does flow with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Nevertheless, the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And indeed, we saw the descendants of Anak there. Amalek is living in the land of the Negev, the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites are living in the hill country, and the Canaanites are living by the sea and by the side of the Jordan." Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "We should by all means go up and take possession of it, for we will certainly prevail over it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, because they are too strong for us." So they brought a bad report of the land which they had spied out to the sons of Israel, saying, "The land through which we have gone to spy out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are people of great stature. We also saw the Nephilim there. The sons of Anak are part of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight."
Okay, so that was our reading for today. All right, so in Numbers 11, we see the journey of the Israelites through the wilderness. And despite God's miraculous provision of manna that sustained them day by day, the Israelites begin to grumble and complain. And they long for the variety of food that they enjoyed in Egypt, forgetting, of course, the harsh slavery that they endured earlier. Their discontentment reaches a crescendo and they cry out, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Also the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manner. And in response to their complaints, God provides quail to satisfy their craving for meal. Yet, even as they indulge in this provision, a plague breaks out among them, a consequence of their greed and ingratitude. And the narrative serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of discontentment and the importance of trusting in God's provision. Now, despite their murmuring, God had faithfully provided for the Israelites' needs every step of the way. Yet their hearts remained restless, longing for more. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves echoing the Israelites' complaints? In our pursuit of worldly desires and comforts, do we overlook the abundant blessings that God has graciously bestowed upon us? Like the Israelites, we may become fixated on what we lack rather than appreciate the blessings that surround us. In the midst of our discontentment, God invites us to find true satisfaction in Him. The Apostle Paul writes in Philippians, "I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want." Now, contentment does not come from the accumulation of material possessions or worldly pleasures, but from a deep rooted trust in God's faithfulness and provision. And as we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and trust in God's sovereignty, we find peace and fulfillment that transcends our circumstances. And as we conclude today's episode, I want you to reflect on this. In what areas of your life do you struggle with contentment? And how can you cultivate a spirit of gratitude and trust in God's provision, even in the midst of challenges and uncertainties? Okay, that is our episode for today. Thank you so much for joining us for our Bible in a Year reading plan.